KP's Video News, y'all. It's KP's Video News, y'all. It's KP's Video News, y'all. It's KP's Video. That's right. It's KP's Video News, y'all. Yep. All right. What's today's date? Today is December 29th, 2022. You only got a couple of days left here, folks. A couple of days left, man. And this year is going to be over. That's right. 2022 is going to be over. 2023 is coming in hot, and coming in fast. Yes, indeed. Let me do a little adjustment here. Okay. Yep, KP's Video News, y'all. Yeah, man, telling you. So I just got this story here earlier, man. I was like, wow, really kind of caught me off guard because this guy was one of my heroes when I was a youth growing up. Pele passed away. Wow, he was one of my heroes, man, from back in the day. Yep, back in the day, man. Yeah, I tell you. Wow. Anyway, rest in peace, Pele. Pele, the Brazilian soccer legend, widely hailed as R.I.P. the football, the king of the sport. The only man to win the World Cup 3 times passed away today in Brazil. He was 82 years old. And his passing has sent the entire soccer world, and specifically Brazil, into a state of mourning. It was as if a national treasure had been lost forever, because in fact Pele was a national treasure. The Brazilian government made that official declaration at the height of his powers. It kept him at his Brazilian club Santos, where he ultimately scored most of his 1,281 goals, a still unsurpassed, albeit disputed, world record. By the end of his 21-year professional career, Pele had become an international icon, perhaps sports' first truly global superstar. His late career stint in New York even helped popularize soccer in the United States, but he was first and foremost Brazil. He was a boy from Sao Paulo state slum, one of the thousands in the soccer-crazed country, reared on dirt fields, often without shoes or an actual soccer ball, but with like-minded friends and dreams. He grew into an artist before he could even grow into a man. At age 17, he led Santos to a league title with a still-standing record, 58 goals. Then he boarded his first airplane, touched down in his first foreign country, and scored 6 times in 3 World Cup elimination games to lead his nation to its first world title. After a second of 2 goals in that 1958 final, emotions overwhelmed him. He thought back to his family some 7,000 miles away. Did they know that we were champions? He wondered innocently. Upon returning home, he got his answers. Lights, flying papers, and joyous humans lined the central streets. Some fought through the helmeted guards to pat young Pele on the head. Others climbed trees just to get a glimpse. Pele's fame soon spread far and wide. His rise coincided with the golden age of air travel, and with an international television broadcasting boom, his talents became transportable across time and space, liable to hypnotize anyone. His face, beaming off billboards, seemingly ubiquitous in popular TV channels, became recognizable everywhere. At his first World Cup in Sweden, pale locals had merely been fascinated by his dark skin. By the time he arrived in Mexico for the 1970 World Cup, he touted commercials, cachet, and unprecedented celebrity. When he won it as part of the most revered international soccer team ever, fans and journalists swarmed him. Even an Italian opponent sprinted toward him and tugged at his iconic yellow number 10 jersey off his back when rivals were mesmerized by his greatness. Told myself before the game, he's made of skin and bones just like anyone else, Italian defender Terresco Burnage said after the 1970 final. But I was wrong. He was made of magic of captivating quickness, spontaneous skill, of audacity and technique and intuition. Only a fraction of it has survived on highlight reels. Visual evidence of Pele's favorite goal, for example, doesn't exist. His genius has largely been preserved by legend and therefore eclipsed in the eyes of the younger generations by that of Ronaldo and Messi. But Pele's contemporary preeminence was undisputed. Various organizations named him the greatest athlete of the 20th century. In the 60s, some believe him to be the most famous person on the planet. Popes, emperors, and presidents sought his company. Companies sought his endorsement. Admirers everywhere sought whatever they could get. In some countries, they wanted to touch him. In some, they wanted to kiss him. And a teammate once recalled in others, they even kissed the ground he walked on. He made his opponents want to applaud. He made just Fontaine, the record-breaking French striker, want to hang up his boots. And I'm telling you, man, Johan Cruyff, the Dutch midfield maestro, Pele was the only footballer who surpassed the boundaries of logic. To Romario, the 1994 Cup-winning Brazilian striker, Pele was on a pedestal. Wow, Pele, man, this story, wow, goes on and on and on and on and on and on. Pele, man, unbelievable. Yep. But football, Pele was really, really discouraged, man. He said Pele has really, the game has really changed, man. It has changed, and he's really upset. He was really upset with the situation that's going on in soccer, man, with the racism that's going on and all the artists, and all the athletes that have been harassed and threatened and all these things. So anyway, doctors back in 2021 found a tumor on his colon. They removed it, but Pele spent the better part of the month in and out of a Sao Paulo intensive care unit. He began chemotherapy, and his health further deteriorated earlier this month with the soccer world gathered in Qatar for the 2022 World Cup. He watched from his hospital bed as an upbeat group of Brazilian players tried to follow in his footsteps. After they danced into the quarterfinals, they posed with the Pele banner to broadcast their well wishes. All of us are here sending their love, the head coach Tite said. And that included non-Brazilians. Pray for the king, French superstar Mbappe tweeted. Pele responded on December 8th, I'm happy to see you breaking another one of my records, he told Mbappe. He lived to see one of the soccer's greatest games, 2022 World Cup final a week later. And he passed away 11 days later, and his manager confirmed with family by his side. Roughly an hour after his passing, the representative sent a brief message from his Twitter account, Inspiration and Love, marked the journey of King Pele, who peacefully passed away today. Love, love, and love forever. Rest in peace, Pele. Wow. Rest in peace. What a remarkable athlete and a remarkable person that lived a remarkable life. Wow. Man, I'm telling you, man, that's really a hard situation, man. It's a hard thing to accept. But, hey, you gotta deal with what you gotta deal with, folks. Okay, here's the situation here. Here's the situation. The presence of police in schools actively jeopardizes the safety of black students compared to their counterparts of other races. And this is according to a report published earlier this month. Black students were subjected to more than 80% of the incidents of police violence accounted for in the survey, which analyzed more than 285 incidents over a decade. At least 60% of police assaults uh, police assaults on students resulted in serious injury to students, including broken bones. So, concussions and hospitalizations. The report cited 24 cases of sexual assault on students and 5 student deaths as a result of the police force in schools. It was published by the Advancement Project, a civil rights organization, and the Alliance of Educational Justice, a coalition of groups working toward equity in public schools. It's not just the fact that policing is ineffective and a major waste of public funds, it's also harmful to the physical and emotional safety and health of students of color throughout the United States. The groups rounded up every identifiable reported incident of police violence in schools from 2011 to 2021, but the organizations concede their data is likely to be based on an undercount. That's right, I said an undercount. So the report is named Assault at Spring Valley after a 16-year-old black girl attending Spring Valley High School in Columbia, South Carolina, was placed in a headlock and flipped over her desk and then dragged and thrown across the classroom by a police officer in 2015. It was in a response to allegations that she was being disruptive and refusing to give up her phone and leave the classroom. The school district fired the police officer, and 2 years later, a Justice Department determined a Trump appointed Justice Department investigation determined there was insufficient evidence to pursue federal charges. Former Spring Valley student Nia Kinney was 18 when she witnessed her classmate being dragged. She encouraged other students to record the incident and later was arrested and charged with disturbing the school. The charges were dropped, but she never returned to the high school and opted instead to get her GED. I remember not wanting to go back to Spring Valley. I was confused, puzzled, and terrified while police officers was using so much force on a young student. Janelle George is director of racial equity in education law and policy clinic at Georgetown Law School, said it's hard for students who both experience and witness policing in schools to re-engage with the classroom. In general, black students were often viewed as the problem and needing some sort of disciplinary treatment in order to act correctly. It is flat out racism that now we can quantify with students like this. Police violence in school is much more likely to affect black girls specifically. Black girls are 4 times likely than their white peers to be arrested, 3 times more likely to be referred to the police, and twice as likely to be physically restrained, according to the report. A heavy police presence has been linked to the school to prison pipeline, which refers to policies and practices that indirectly push students into the criminal legal system, among with them harsh and strict punishment like arrests and expulsions. When they attend schools where they're seen as a threat and are targeted by police officers as they walk to and from their classes, what else would they take away from that other than the system is really not meant for me? Says suspensions and expulsions alienate students from their peers and remove them from the pro-social relationships. And the use of police officers in schools that mainly serve communities of color creates the idea that students of color need to be controlled and dominated to act properly. The report also revealed that officers generally face few to no consequences for assaulting students. In 10% of cases in which officers face consequences for assaulting students, firings or criminal charges were rare. Instead, they were usually faced only internal reviews or reassignment or being placed on leave. That's not surprising because unfortunately this has been occurring for such a long time, and the research has long demonstrated how black students are disproportionately targeted for this kind of policing. And so I'm telling you, man, everybody's hoping that this report creates change in the conversation surrounding, surrounding this situation. Removal. They got to remove the cops from the schools, man. If the cops are outside the school, that's one thing. But Ah, boy, I hope this report can be used to demonstrate that it's not a one-off incident and there's actually systematic issue that will continue to happen as long as police are present in schools, especially those schools that serve black and other students of color. Yep, I 100% agree with that. This assessment, anytime you have a cop that arrests a 5-year-old girl that's actually was tired and sleepy in classroom, and you take her to jail, you handcuff her and take her to jail while she's hollering and screaming. What type of barbaric treatment is this? This is the same type of stuff that they have done to black people for 400 years. It's like, okay, we are going to force you to conform to what we want you to be, what we think you should do, what we think you should act, the way you think you should act, you know. And anytime you force people to do anything, you better believe one day that that person is going to rebel against that uh, bad treatment. So anyway, don't forget to hit the like button. Happy Kwanzaa. Happy Kwanzaa emoji. Day 4 of Kwanzaa. And, hey, everybody go out there and, celebrate with your family and friends. I'm telling you, man, this is 2022 is coming to an end, and we need to end it on a positive note. Yep, let's end it on a positive note here, and celebrate with your family and friends, and break bread together. You know, even if you got somebody that you don't even particularly care about, break bread with them too. Peace.